Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a little overview of a lot of new products that have hit my desk and new products that I really enjoy. There is a lot that I've received and a lot that I'm really liking, so instead of doing separate reviews that would take forever, I'm going to do a little bit of a showdown here and give you guys a little bit of a flavor of these new products that I really enjoy. I do have a review coming of the Maya X. The Lamzu Maya X Fanatic Edition is my current main, and I will have a video. I posted it accidentally early. I didn't see the embargo date, but later this month, the review will drop of the Lamzu Maya X. A very good mouse and a shape that is, again, a little bit smaller than something like the Beast Max and the ULX Large. This is the Vaxee PC. I've got the Zenblade65 from Pwnage. These are two things that I've been using quite a lot, and you can see I've got the Nacho Customs Goblin Tech keycaps, and I have a new glow-in-the-dark wrist rest from Keys on Twitter, and I'll drop all the info in the description below. The mousepad that I'm probably most excited for, because I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this, is the Vaxee PC. This is an all-new, unique surface. It's got a textured textile that will feel you will feel that texture on your skin as you are gliding, but it's not something as abrasive as a Hien. It's a little bit better than an Aqua Control, and I would say if you are familiar with the Razer Strider, the Hateatsu, it does have a nice textile to it that does not feel abrasive on your skin. Now, in terms of the textile, this is all new, it is unique, and it's something that you have not seen on the market before, and it might not be something that you see on the market from another company for some time. The way they've designed this pad, there's no stitching on the edges, but it does have a kind of press effect to it where it angles down here, and as you are moving your arm over the pad, you don't feel that lip on the actual bottom of the pad, so it's a very comfortable playing experience. The firmness of the pad, it does have a little bit of energetic rebound to it, but it's very firm, almost the firmness of a hard pad. So it is something that feels very consistent during gameplay, both on X and Y, and I think that is very crucial for track-heavy games, particularly when you're getting any sort of diagonal movement, or you're moving up and down or tracking vertically. The pad feels very consistent both on X and Y, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way the weave is here on the textile. Again, something that you probably wouldn't have seen before. But the speed of the pad is definitely in the bracket of the Razer Strider, the Hateatsu. In my opinion, I get more control on this than those two pads. The Vaxee PC, it's very fast on dynamic and open, so when you really got to get the mouse moving and going, you have that openness and that speed. But when you really want to take it down to a minute level and get some very controlled tracking, or long-range tracking, let's say in Apex or Call of Duty, you can really slow the mouse down and you get a lot of control on slow, staticky movements. Still a fast pad, still open on static like a Hateatsu, but the pad is just very consistent because of that firmness, and the textile itself is very consistent, fast and open. I think it's in the running for one of the best speed pads on the market right now. I think they've done a good job choosing the textile and designing the pad, its firmness, and the lip of the pad. And again, probably one of the best pads to have released in 2024, and most certainly probably the most unique pad to have released this year. But Vaxee didn't just stop there. We now have a revised Vaxee PE in a much larger format. The specs you guys will see on the link in the description below. But this pad does have a different level of firmness than a Vaxee PE. This thing barely digs in. You would have to apply an immense amount of force to get this thing to budge. So it's almost as though the PA has now been put on a hard type surface. So again, the consistency is going to be very nice, especially if you're using dots. You know how sometimes on a foam density of soft or X soft with dots, the mouse might dig into the pad a little bit and you slow down quite a bit or feel kind of inconsistent. This would be the type of firmness that I would recommend, particularly if you prefer to use dots. The pad speed, I would say, feels a little bit faster because of the firmness than a Vaxee PE. But the big thing, again, is going to be the size of the pad in terms of its dimensions and the overall aesthetics of the pad. I really like the design, and I do think that the size mixed with the firmness will be a direct upgrade over the Vaxee PE. If you guys want to see what a PA kind of feels like, Again, it's kind of like a GSRSE. Again, this would be the upgraded PA/GSRSE, and you guys can check my old PA review to get a little bit more of an in-depth overview of the PA. A new IEM that I really enjoy from Yanyin, this is the Yanyin Carmen. This is a 10 BA set. It's using Sonian drivers, and it's got 4 BAs, I think, covering the low end, and then 2 mids, 2 highs, and then 2 ultra highs. It's a very good set for competitive gaming purposes. It's very revealing. And one of the things you'll notice, and I'll use the squigglings courtesy of HBB because I've not graphed these myself yet, but it is a set that has a tuning that is similar to the SA6 and similar to the Ziigaat Arete that we collabed on earlier this year. The default cable that comes with this is really nice. I enjoy it. It is a 2-pin cable, and this is a 3.5 version. The unboxing experience for $850 I wish was a little bit more premium. It just feels more on the cheaper side in terms of an overall unveiling of your $850 IEM. But the comfort here, I think the shell's a little bit smaller than something like the Canon 2, so they've been able to fit those 10 high-quality Sonian BAs into a small frame and pump out a sound for gaming that is very analytical, very clear. The bass still has a punch. It still has that impact, but it doesn't have that overwhelming burden of things that begin to occlude the other things that you're hearing. So one of the best things I think about the Arete as well as the Carmen is that level of separation, clarity, and layering when a lot is going on in game. Now for Apex Legends, these are going to score around the same as the Arete and the Canon 2. So for the price differential, you really have to determine if this is something that you want to go up to because of those Sonian BAs and the number of BAs, or if you'd rather stay below at the Canon 2 and the Arete. I think at $250, the Arete performs, again, just as good as the Carmen for Apex. When we get to Valorant, I think the issue that somewhat existed as well on the Arete, I just wanted that emphasis to be a little bit better on things that are happening around the map with the Arete and the Carmen. But that isn't to say that they don't perform exceptionally well in Valorant. In Valorant, the imaging, the separation, the layering, all exceptionally good with pinpoint accuracy. The only thing with that lack of bite on emphasis is things that are in front of you. Sometimes you get a less palpable effect on distance. So if somebody's coming out, let's say, from a wall directly in front of you, or if they are a wall behind that, it becomes a little bit more blurry determining where exactly along a path somebody is. Now, once your brain gets adjusted to it and you get comfortable with it, you begin to become a little bit more comfortable with that read. But I do feel that IEMs with a little bit better emphasis in the tuning for Valorant, you just find yourself placing your crosshair in areas a little bit faster. Again, that's not to say that the Carmen is not exceptional for Valorant. I think it is, but it would fall more along the lines of a B+ to a B as opposed to something that hits the A-, or S tier category. For Call of Duty, I think they are exceptionally good. It's very clear. You get all the impact from still that punch of bass that you get for things punching through doors. Great level of depth perception and imaging on the Yanyin Carmen, and it's going to place, again, around the same as the Arete. So for $850, I think what I would probably recommend is maybe look a little bit higher at the Fiio FA19. I enjoyed that a little bit better because it does have that level of emphasis that picks up the slack a little bit. Again, that's a little bit more money, though. And then you can also look at the Zen's Top, which is cheaper, the Canon 2 and the Ziigaat Arete. I think this IEM, though, still performs in that A- to B+ territory overall. So an exceptionally good IEM for competitive gaming purposes on that wallhack certified tier list. It's just you really got to determine in your budget range where you want to go and where you want to stay, because they don't excel past something like the Canon 2 or the Arete. Staying in the same vein as audio, this is the new Fiio FT1. This is a closed back headphone from Fiio that has a all natural walnut side panel here for the headphone itself. It's got a really nice build to it, a really nice look to it. It's got a lot of swivel in the headband itself. And the overall sides have a little bit of play and swivel as well. but the ear cup is very comfortable with a very nice memory foam feeling material here. And the all natural walnut just looks really nice and gives it that kind of pristine, elegant look to it. So I think they've done a really nice job here. The headband does have a little bit of cushioning as well. Getting into the audio, though, this is a natural sounding headphone, but I would say has a little bit, a tiny notch of warmth to it. So it's got a really nice, kind of analytical, but still comfortable sound to it in game. Gunshots don't sound piercing, explosions don't sound piercing. Again, just a nice natural tuning to it. For Apex Legends, so far, I find this to be an exceptional closed-back headphone for competitive gaming purposes. I think it would score around. Right now, I'm probably more likely than not going to place this around a B for Apex, for COD, and for Valorant. I think it performs well across the board for all games that I've played so far, which would actually probably put this at my number one spot for a closeback right now. I think it competes with things that are much more expensive, and I think it performs better than something like the 770 from Bear Dynamic. I also think that it would probably place higher than the 620 from Sennheiser. I will actually do a comparison video of this and the 770 and the 620, but at $150, not only is this a very nice looking headphone, if you are looking for a closed back, I think this is your option for gaming. It's less expensive than the competition, has better sound for competitive gaming, and the comfort here is phenomenal. Again, not just a nice tuning for gaming, but a nice tuning for music as well. And I'll get into more in the comparison video of a few closebacks. Again, the 770, the 620, we'll do a little comparison, but Fiio did a very nice job with this. Sounds good. For gaming. Good separation, good layering. I think the overall emphasis on some things within the range could be a little bit better, providing a little bit more clarity again on depth perception, but overall it excels in a lot of areas and the imaging is very good. Verticality, things at a depth in front of me, everything performing very nicely. Again, falling into a B category, the Fiio FT1, a very good closeback at $150 if you wanted a closeback for gaming. You guys were probably wondering what this thing was on my desk. This is the Razer Kitsune. This is the limited edition Akuma version. I love this thing. I kind of have just been very bored of FPS shooters. I think everyone's kind of in the same spot in that regard. But Razer did an exceptionally good job with the Kitsune. It is something that I've been able to utilize and become accustomed to very quickly in its overall layout and format. You can see you've got your arrow keys and then everything that you would utilize otherwise on something like a PlayStation 5 controller. You've got the PS5 touchpad, and it's got PS5 and PC compatibility. It's got a RGB bar here at the bottom, and then the back of the pad does have nice rubberized gripping for your desk. The limited edition does come in this really nice leather box, and everything about it just feels like a premium experience. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm not going to go too deep into it, though, because obviously I don't really get into fighting game things or peripherals. I thought I would just showcase it because you'll probably see it on my desk for future videos. The Kitsune, I think this thing is absolutely disgusting, both in the overall aesthetic and just how cool it is for fighting games. And of course, I've got the Pwnage Zenblade65, the Goblin Tech Keys collab with Nacho Customs for keycaps. I like this board. I think the CNC aluminum chassis looks really nice in terms of the case itself. It's got a lot of nice curves here on the front, and then even flipping it over towards the back, it just has a lot of nice offsets in terms of its coloration and the curves leading to the front. It's got like a really like sports car-ish aesthetic to it. And I think importantly, comparatively to other Hall Effect boards, it just sounds fantastic. It's using pre-lubed Gateron 2.0 Hall Effect switches. And I have absolutely no qualms and no faults with how it sounds. I mean, it's, I think, one of the best sounding Hall Effect boards. The switches feel really nice in terms of their performance and in terms of their overall sound for gaming and typing. So if you guys are looking for a keyboard, again, I'm not a massive keyboard enthusiast. I've lost passion for keyboards just because I just don't find keyboards to make the most monumental difference in my setup compared to audio, mice, pads, etc. But this is, I would say, one of the top tier Hall effect boards on the market right now. Looks fantastic and overall sounds and performs really nice comparatively to the top of Hall effect boards. And again, just a few other things I use on a daily basis. I got my new glow-in-the-dark wrist stand from Keys. I'll throw up his Twitter information. I've got the mouse stands for my mice from the Illmeister. I'll throw up his information. You guys can reach out to them if you're interested. And then my gaming chair. I've been asked a few questions about this, what I use. I have tried a Lamia. I've tried 2 different Herman Miller chairs. I finally settled on the Anthros. I've had this for 2 months now, bought it on my own. They did not send this out to me for review purposes. But this is my daily driver. I did reach out to them and get a coupon code if anybody wants it. I think you get $100 or $200 off. I'll leave it in the description below. But the Anthros chair is the most comfortable chair that I've had to date. It's got a pelvic support that is fully adjustable and a back support, but it's a little bit different in the sense that it does have that pelvic support. I think it's one of the best looking chairs I've owned. I love it for my setup. And again, it has caused me nothing but comfort since I've had it. No back pain, no lower back pain. It is a really good chair. It's just expensive. So again, I'm only going over my personal experiences. I'm not a chair connoisseur, but I've loved the Anthros chair since I've had it. So if you're in that market for a upper end chair, that's what I'm using, and I totally recommend it. Again, just super, super expensive. And if it's out of your budget, I'm sure you can go to a local store and maybe try a chair. Hopefully that suits your needs and is comfortable. But guys, that's all I've got in terms of my setup. I have a few things coming. I'll do a comparison closeback video. We'll get that probably as the next video. And then again, the review that I accidentally posted early, the Maya X, that should be coming pretty soon back up for you guys. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, leave a sub to the channel. See you guys in the next review. Peace.